To bring you my Tuesday video. I know last week I didn't get my video done, and I'm sorry about that. Coming off vacation and having a lot to catch up on home and stuff, I just didn't get there. I hope to get it because I did have a video, so I'm hoping to make it maybe one day this week. But today I'm going to bring you the same video I did this morning on my Facebook Live. So it's a fun folk card. It's very simple and easy, and I think that you'll like to do it. I do have a PDF for it that is on my Stamp Crazy VIP group that you can go over there. You can join my group and get the PDF all off of that. And it's under the files section, and it's the name that's the same name that what is under the description of this video is the same name that is on the title for the PDF. Also, Stampin' Up! Is, and we can announce this today, that starting October, I don't know if it's the 1st or the 3rd, my hair's sticking up. But we're going to have a good sign-in bonus. So if you've thought about joining Stampin' Up., whether it's to get a discount for your supplies, make a business, do whatever you want to, Stampin' Up! Doesn't care which way you go. We love our hobbyists as much as we love our business builders. So if that's something you might like to do, you let me know because I'd really love to grow my team in October when this is going on. So um, also, if you don't want to join and you don't have a demonstrator, I'd love for you to order from me if there is stuff that you like that Stampin' Up! Has. And outside of that, I don't really have too much in announcements. I'm going to turn my camera down. My kitty cat is on the table. She's asleep right now. So if something goes a little haywire, she woke up. So let's just pray she sleeps for a little while. She's a sweet little kitty, but she does like to play in my cards when I'm making them sometimes. So if that happens, excuse me for that. So anyway, let's get ready. Turn our camera down. There we go. Let's go down. There's my baby sleeping. She's moved my camera to where, because she thinks she needs a lot of room. So she gives me little room. So here is my cards. I am going to take my YouTube channel and join my video live. Let's see if I can do this. Yes, here we are. So if you would like to say something in the chat, I'd really like that. Also, if you have not subscribed to my channel, I'd love for you to do that. Give me a thumbs up, share my video, whatever. All of that helps me with my channel, so I enjoy that you do that. But here's our card. And what this card is, I told you, is a fun fold. So your card lifts out. It's a little DSP note card, and you open it up, and there you can write your sentiment. You could also make this a little thicker. This is a 1/2 inch. Use a 1-inch strip, glue 3 sides, and you could have it as a gift card holder. So that is what that is. So, and they're all made that way, and they're all different DSPs, and they all are from our fall DSP line. So we have that. And then this one is just like that one. But I'm going to use 2 different papers today, so just so you can see a variety of the fall cards and the fall papers. So let's set these aside. I'll set them up there out of the way. I'll bring them back in. So here's the papers I'm going to use today. So, and it's not much that you have to use as far as, you know, you have your die cuts right here, 2 circles, and then I have a little leaf. Now you can use anything that you want, but our card base is actually the 5.5 by 8.5 scored at 4 1/4. It is your regular card base, and that, and you can see I scored that a little bit wrong. Must have got an 1/8 inch over on mine. That's what I get for doing this like at midnight, right? Well, that I did it again. Couldn't hold on to it. I'm going to straighten this up because that we can do. There. And it doesn't hurt it one bit. You don't even see that I had to do that. Let's see if I have to do it on this one. Nope, this one's good. Let's fold it and give it a good score. Okay, the other things we're going to use, this is 3.5 by 9 3/4, and it's scored at 4 3/4. And we're going to also make sure that that meets, and we're going to fold that. Be gentle with it so you don't tear it. This is 3 1/4 by 4.5, and it will go on the inside of our card right here. And this little strip will go on here also. And I'm going to go ahead and glue that little strip on there and get that out of our way. It's always nice to get the little pieces out of your way a little bit. Then you're not looking all over the place for them all the time, which is something that I tend to do. So we've got that in there. And we are going to go ahead and glue that in. This will make your piece of DSP a little bit sturdier as a card. But we're just making a little note card out of it. So let's just go ahead and glue this in. And we'll set it out of our way because we're going to be working with our card base for a minute as soon as I get this other one done. Now this is the exact same thing, exact same pattern. And I used this side the last time. I'm going to use this side. And actually, this goes with that, and this goes with that. Get my stuff a little mixed up here. And I'm going to use this. And let's put this on the inside of here. And like I said, we'll have those done. But this is just showing you can use either sides of your DSP. This is a good way to use up DSP when you have a lot of it left, like I do. So that's going to go with that card. But right now, we're just going to put these two up. We're going to work with these two card bases. I am going to bring in my paper trimmer, which is right here. And what we're going to do, our card opens this way, right? So we're going to cut this at a diagonal. So what we're going to do is we're going to put the fold line at the cutting line here and the point at the bottom right and the cutting line down here. And we're just going to cut that off. So there we go. So we're going to use that. So let's just set that to the side a minute. And we're going to do the same thing to this one. The front of our card, match the fold line up into the cutting track. And do the same down here with your bottom right corner of your front flap. And then just slice that off. Okay, so we're done with that. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to go ahead and give this another score. After opening it, it wants to kind of stay open, and I want it as flat as I can get it. So let's do that. I woke my kitty up. She's like, oh, let me alone. So, okay, next thing we're going to do, we want to make sure that this matches the front. So I'm going to turn them so I know which way I need to do this to emboss them. Because if you notice on my card, I used an embossing folder on this piece and glued it to the front to give it some texture and just more dimension. I like that. So I'm going to take these two pieces and I'm going to put them together. I am going to actually cut these at the same time. So let's move all this out of the way. Lay that there. I'm going to bring in my embossing machine. And I have to use the big guy. And since it's 3D, if you have the Stampin' Up! Embossing machine, you use plate 1 and then plate 4. And what I'm going to do, I want this with, ours has this little black line. That means that's your embossing side. This side, if you do it this way, will deboss it. So, I'm going to take these and I'm going to stick them on that line because it also gives me like a straight piece. I'm going to lay it with my hinged side here to the back of my machine. And that's so the air can come out of that this way as you push through. So I'm just going to run that through. And because I'm using 2 pieces of cardstock, I'm going to run it back through. Yes, I'm using my embossing machine. She likes to put her paws in there and try to catch the stuff I'm rolling sometimes when she's frisky. So as you can see, it embossed both sides. We have, and it does a great job when you're doing 2 pieces. So keep that in mind if you have never done that. We're going to bring these in and we are going to adhere them to the front of our card. So what I'm going to do is open this one more time so that I can see that line really well. And I'm going to add glue. And then I'm going to add a little bit on the inside since that has texture to it. And I'm going to take and line this up at the bottom. And then it should line up at my top, right next to the fold line. And there you go. That is that one. Let's do the same thing to this. Very easy to do. Very, very easy. My little tip gets stuck in some of these grooves and I about dropped my card. So let's open this one up. Again, I'm going to line that bottom up. If I line that bottom up and go next to this line, everything else should line up fine. There we go. Now the next thing we're going to do is I'm going to give this a crease, but I'm going to turn it over so I don't lose a lot of my embossing when I do this. And this is the last time we're going to crease it. So what we're going to do here, we're going to glue just the bottom. You want to leave the sides open. So what I do is I just add a little bit at the bottom. When I close the bottom, I'm going to make sure they meet here and have a nice straight edge. And then I'm just going to rub that a minute. Make sure I get it burnished on there really good. And let that dry a minute. I'm going to do the same thing over here. So you get to see everything twice when I make 2 cards, which I myself don't think that's a bad idea. So here again, I'm going to take and I'm going to make sure that my bottom lines up. I'm just running my finger across that to make sure all that lines up. And then I can burnish that one. So there we go. That's your pocket. And then this will slide in just like this. And I see a little bit of white over there. So I'm going to take this and redo that corner like that. There we go. And that'll just go in there like so. Just get it in there the way you want it. And we're going to leave it in there. You do want to make sure that you have it folded right. And okay, so there we go. Make sure I didn't look at this on the inside. Just making sure that's at the back. And there again, I'm going to just lay that in there. So now we're ready to decorate. So I think I need another white. I need a white one for that. And I have 2 off-whites. So I'm going to cut one real quick. A while ago, I thought I had to cut, you know what? I think I might have a white one. Do you all have a box of dies? Look at this box. And I think there is one. Look at that. There we go. Just get in your box that you have leftovers of and put them together. I buy those lock containers at the dollar store, so I don't feel like I'm spending a ton of money on my stuff. Okay, now I'm going to make a happy birthday card out of each of these. I know it's fall, but there's always a lot of fall birthdays, so that's okay. And fall, I think, is such pretty colors that I'm okay with all that. And I've made so many other fall cards, I thought I'm going to make some into birthday cards. So there we go. That's our, I just have to close that. And I have an in-person class today, so most of my stuff is sitting upstairs because that's where I teach my classes. And so that's where my chamois are. So these are alcohol-free wipes. And I'm just cleaning my stamp with one of those. Then I don't have to worry about it being dirty. Okay, we're going to turn these over. And I'm going to put dimensionals on them to have them stand up. So let's take those. Well, that one was going to be stubborn. So let's take these and we'll just add them here. I love my stylish circle dies. I use them so much. A lot. So these are going to go on the cards here. So, but what we are going to do, because if you notice on here, this shows on the front here and on the card, but when you take it out, it's just on the card. So we want to make sure that when we want our card in the way we want it, we want to kind of look at this and see where we're going to put. And I want to put right up in here, starting here, I'm going to put 3 dimensionals, and I'm going to put them just kind of close to each other, but I'm doing 3 to kind of make them have a good stick on there because I've taken that in and out. So that's going to be our next thing that we do, is just add these to our card. And I'm making sure where that is. And Let's see, when I take that out, it looks pretty even. It's even enough. So that one's done. Let's do the same thing to this one. And I'll start, because I'm going to start right here. And that's an easier way to do that. And then I'm just going to put them close together to hold that. And they're out of the way to slide that in and out. Gives it a little stability and stuff. So, got our card there. So let's just put this one there. Now we're ready to decorate. So what I've got here, I have a yellow leaf to go on this one, and I have the green to go on here. And what I do with these is I cut this stem. It'll still hold my leaves together. But I cut that stem off so I don't have a whole lot of stem showing there. Same with here. And what I'm going to do, I'm just going to put a couple little drops of glue at the top of these leaves like so, just a little bit. I just want it to hold them right here. So let's put them on there, let that hold. We'll do the same over here. And there we go. Okay, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to use it's the Early Espresso and Old Olive Linen Thread Pack. It came out for the fall. And I'm going to use the brown on this one. And I'm going to double that. And you see it has a little bit of curl in it, and I don't like the curl. So I'm going to take and run it between my fingers. And that takes a lot of that curl out. So then I can take and double this. And I can make me a bow. When you're making a bow and you have to work your loops down with linen thread or twine, you want to hold that center dot so that this doesn't curl on you, because otherwise it will curl just a little bit if you don't hold on to it. And I'm going to put that right there. So what I'm going to do with that is I'm going to take a glue dot. And because that's so skinny, I'm just going to kind of roll that glue dot right there onto the back and make sure that it just stays on the back of that. So when I put it down, we don't have all that gluey stuff in the front. So I'm just going to add that right there and trim my edges. We'll put some gems on that in just 1 second. We're going to take the green and do the same thing. We're going to take, and I know I always get more than I need, but I'd rather have more than I need than not enough. Because when you don't have enough, it presents a problem. Because then you're either trying to make a teeny tiny bow that's, and I have large fingers, so it doesn't work really good for me. Okay, now what I'm going to do is just take and do this again. Just get that kind of straight. Then I'm going to make a double bow. I just hold my twine together. You can do this with thin ribbon. And then you just take and make you a bow. And there again, I'm going to take my glue dot. Gotta find it. It's right there. And stick that right there in the center of that. And there again, I'll trim my edges. See, I didn't use near the ribbon that time, but I had plenty. Now let's add some jewels to that. On this one, I'm going to add some of these green dots. So there we go. 2 different cards. Whoops, I got this thing in the way. That's why it's not moving. So what I have here are my 2 cards we just made today. And so when you pull that out, you have happy birthday and a place to write or put another sentiment. Or like I said, put a larger piece on a glue 3 sides and put you a gift card in there, which is really a good idea. Same thing with this one. We have it made. So I hope you like this video. I think this is a cute little fun fold that's quick and easy. And, you know, it always gives a wow factor when they're not just opening a card like this. So, and here's all the different ones. And they're all fall cards, so, but you could use any kind of paper. These would make great Christmas cards. They would make great baby shower cards. Just using flowers for other birthdays. If you like the flowers and stuff, that's what I usually like when it's not like a season. But, you know, wedding cards, you could do so many cards with this, with just whatever DSP you use to make it your own. So I hope you liked it. Remember to give me a thumbs up. Leave me a comment if you would. Join my channel if you haven't done that. Or subscribe to it, actually. Subscribe to my channel and follow me. Just hit the subscribe button, and that way you can hit notifications. You'll know when I come on. So with all that being said, I am going to get off of here, and I will talk to you all later. Be creative, be blessed, and just enjoy doing what you like to do. Bye for now.